Repsina Grigorian from Armenia. You have 30 seconds, madam.
Thank you, Chair. Madam Minister, war is back to Europe and our region. We're all facing incredible challenges to security and human rights. And in this context, the expectations are very high from the Reykjavik summit in that it can relaunch the Council of Europe as an instrument for collective security through democracy and the rule of law. In your vision, what can the summit do? What contribution can it have to address the existing security challenges in an inclusive manner so that it also addresses issues related to Nagorno-Karabakh conflict and to the recent aggression of Azerbaijan against Armenia? Thank you.
Thank you. Next question comes from Madam Nigar Aparadai from Azerbaijan. Nigar, 30 seconds.
Madam Minister, I would like to remind you that 30 years ago, one of the member states of Council of Europe, Armenia, has occupied lands of Azerbaijan and expelled Azerbaijanis from their homes. After liberation of Azerbaijani lands in 2020, Azerbaijani IDPs and refugees should be going back home, but they cannot because their homes are destroyed and those territories are heavily planted and contaminated with landmines planted by Armenian occupying forces. And unfortunately, those landmines continue to kill civilians every day, and even if we see the figures after the end of 2020, around 300 people have been killed or seriously injured as a result of mine explosions. And unfortunately, these figures goes up every day, every week. And my question is, what can Council of Europe do to push Armenia to provide Azerbaijan with maps of minefields, with accurate data, with available data on the landmine maps? Thank you very much.
I will do my utmost best. Well, first, regarding Nagorno-Karabakh, the current humanitarian situation there is of course a matter of concern, and freedom of movement along the Lachin corridor should be ensured in line with interim measures decided by the European Court of Human Rights and the order of the International Court of Justice. And I already expressed my concern about the humanitarian situation in the region last January, and I can only repeat my call for guaranteeing free and open movement of people and commerce on the Lachin corridor. It should be recalled that by becoming members of the organization in 2001, Armenia and Azerbaijan undertook to find a peaceful solution to the conflict. Both countries must act in accordance with their own commitments. They should refrain from provocations. Dialogue is key to avoid further deterioration of the situation. Regarding the summit and the things you mentioned, first of all, the Council of Europe supports efforts to set up a special tribunal on the crime of aggression. And there's no lack of support, but the concrete steps, we will have to see how the wording will be, but we have a clear focus on the on accountability in general and on register of damages, which I believe is extremely important. And we know that the discussion on special tribunal is being held in many institutions and a lot of pressure and a lot of will, but a very complicated issue, which I truly hope we will find a strong solution, because the accountability is key, and we cannot have a gap when it comes to accountability. So we have to find ways. That's morally the right thing to do, and it's a complicated legal task, which I believe we will be able to solve with the spice of politics and diplomacy and all those things to make that happen. Regarding artificial